Hey guys, my name's Dennis and I'm a Splendor enthusiast. I found a really awesome game of Splendor to analyze, the grand final game of what I believe is the biggest Splendor tournament ever. There were over 1,500 people competing from all around the world for awesome prizes. This was a tournament by Space Cowboys hosted on Board Game Arena. This tournament was pretty recent. It started in October last year, 2024, and finished in early December. So to summarize the tournament structure and prizes, there were 4 time zones that you could pick from, and each was its own tournament, up to 512 players. If you made top 4 in any of those 4 tournaments, you made top 16, and that got you the first level prize, which was a copy of the new edition of Splendor, with new art for the box art, the cards, the nobles, and all that. But if you managed to win one of the 4 tournaments, and mind you, that's very hard, all matches were 2-player, but you basically had to win 8, or in the very big ones, 9 matches in a row to win the tournament. But if you managed that, you would receive the entire Splendor collection in your country of origin, including base Splendor, Splendor Jewel, Splendor Marvel, and all those goodies. From there, the top 4 would compete in the grand final, which is our game that we're analyzing today. It was played live, and each player was allotted 15 minutes of thinking time. And the winner received an exclusive collector's version of Splendor. There were only 15 copies of this ever made, never put on sale. And so honestly, this prize is kind of priceless. Just before we analyze the replay, let's introduce the 4 finalists. In seat 1 is Phosphate from China, a self-described Splendor and Azul player. And if we look at their elos, you can see they're a very experienced Splendor player. They're a specialist at 2-player Splendor. In seat 2, we have 3124 from America. Now, they have a really interesting BGA profile. If you look at their games, they've barely played any games at all. They have a pretty high elo at Splendor. They've played very few games of Splendor at a mix of 2 and 4 player. In third seat, we have Nature from Japan. Similar to Phosphate in first seat, Nature is a specialist in 2-player Splendor, with thousands of games under their belt. And lastly, in fourth seat, we have Badnot from America, bracket Cincinnati. So Badnot has a pretty interesting profile in terms of Splendor games. They have a pretty high elo, similar to 3124. With over 400 games of experience on BGA, I really like how they play at all player counts, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, let's get into the replay and see who is going to win this massive Splendor tournament and take home the special grand prize. We'll be keeping track of all the cards that the players reserve in their hands down the bottom there. And we're following this game from the perspective of Phosphate, simply because they're player 1. So this is 4-player Splendor. If you didn't know, the metagame is basically to reserve the best cards straight away. Best cards being really high value and efficient, point versus gem ratio. Kind of the best examples of this are the 7 gem for 4 points, and then very close behind is the 6 gems for 3 points. That's basically a point for every 2 gems. The level 1 cards actually look decent in this game, but of course it's most important to reserve the most powerful level 2 and 3 cards straight away, since it is a lot easier to get up to the 6 and 7 required in 4-player, where there's 7 of each color gem. So Phosphate might be eyeing the 7 blue, the 6 white, or the 6 red, and then these 3 options, 7 black, 5 red, 7 green, looking slightly less appealing. Even though the nobles are generally unimportant and you normally just win without them because they're too slow, it's worth having a quick check of them. You don't have 3 of them lining up on the same 3 colors. So if you're in their position, what would you reserve? I might be interested in the 7 blue card because 7 of 1 gem for 4 is crazy good value and there's no other heavy blue cards. The one downside is there's also this 7 green card, and these both fit in the same kind of strategy or archetype, which is green-blue vertical. It's basically the most aggressive, fastest way to win, stacking like green and blue cards. So let's see what Phosphate picks. And they end up going with the red. So Phosphate selects the 6 red. I can respect that, it's a very strong card. They might be thinking that no one else is going to reserve this 5 red because there's so many other great options. Someone could go black, someone could go blue, someone could go green. Now it's 3124's turn. Yeah, plenty of good options here. Do they like black, blue, green, or white? And 3124 immediately snaps up the reserve on the 7 blue for 4 points and a green. Yeah, it's a very strong choice. Probably what I would have reserved if I was Phosphate in seat 1. It's also very important to analyze if there are some other cards in the display that can support you to getting those 6 or 7 gems. And so red has an awesome level 1 card. Blue has a decent level 1 card at 4 gems. And even working towards this 7 green, 3 red card, there's a decent green gem card as well at level 1. This red level 1 card is one of the best types, 2 of one color, 1 of another color. So they're kind of quite valuable and other players might be interested. Over to Nature, let's see which color takes their fancy. Oh, this is a pretty surprising choice for me. They've reserved the red level 1 card. You can consider this maybe a denial against Phosphate. And part of the reason might be the 7 red 3 black just got revealed on level 3, which means there's now another 2 red cards. And so nature might be looking to work towards one of these ones. Bad Knot, still 2 gold left in the pile, and I'm sure they're interested in reserving one of these powerful cards. If I was them, I'll definitely shy away from red, because that would kind of make 3 players interested in red. And they choose 6 white, which I think is an excellent choice. I believe it's a bit easier to buy these 6 of 1 gem cards rather than the 7 threes. Back to Phosphate. Phosphate's got a great opportunity to do another reserve. This is a really nice advantage of being first seat in a 4-player game. You actually get to reserve 2 cards and get 2 gold when everyone else only gets 1. They would of course be interested in a card that makes red. There's basically none. So they might be interested in one of the red cards, just so if they're able to find a cheap level 1 card that makes red for them, it kind of gives double value, working towards 2 cards in their hand. Taking the 5 red for 2 and a white. 3 on 2 for, of course, with the 7 blue card. Unsurprisingly, they snap up double blue while they can. Go to Nature, who is sitting on that level 1 card, needing 2 blue and a green. And they like a bit of everything. Blue, green, red. By the way, all the actions that are taken in the game appear on the right here, so you can follow along in case we miss anything. And under each player here, it tells you exactly what gems they have, what points they're on, which is the star, like 0 star. And later, when people buy cards, it tells you how many like black cards they've bought, how many green cards they've bought. Okay, so over to Bad Knot, who has taken the 6 white card, and they unsurprisingly take 2 whites. This is, pretty much how 3 and 4th player Splendor generally goes with strategy. You just reserve a powerful card that needs a lot of gems, and then you just work towards that and try and complete it as soon as possible. And for the ones that cost 6 and 7, you might need to stop along the way for 1 or maybe 2 level 1 green cards, the cheap ones. Phosphate, and of course, double red for them. 3, 1, 2, 4. If I'm them, I'm very happy to see that there's still 4 blue left in the market, because I can get that double blue. Oh, but look at that. They take a blue, a green, and a black. That's quite surprising to me. This method of also working towards this level 1 blue card seems to be a bit safer, I guess. And maybe it's the better way to play. Nature here with the kind of off-meta opening, reserving level 1 card. Let's see what gems they take. Same as before, blue, green, red. Yeah, it feels a bit odd to me because I feel like the path is kind of open to work towards this 7 green if you want to contest 3, 1, 2, 4's green blue strategy. There's a decent level 1 green gem costing only 4. They could have worked towards that, or they could have worked towards a black gem like these 2 on the right in level 1 as a way of trying to get this 7 black card. But they seem to be interested in neither of those options. Back to blue, and I mean, I think they'd be pretty happy there's still 5 white in the market. They take another 2, which brings them up to 4 and 1 gold. And so they just need 1 more white to buy their card from hand. And back to Phosphate, only 3 reds left in the market, so probably a triple take here. And it's going to be white, blue, and red for them. I think it's pretty clear that it's a bit of a blocking move, because the 3 colors that people need right now is red, and then blue for 3, 1, 2, 4, and then white for Bad Knot. And so they take those 3 colors. Over to 3, 1, 2, 4. They started working towards this level 1 blue card. There they go. They take the same gems, blue, green, black, which sets them up to be able to buy this on their next turn. No one else is really interested in that card. Now Nature's turn. This player really interests me because they are using this off-meta strategy. I'm really interested to see where they take it. They do another triple take. White, green, red. Seems to me like a bit of blocking, taking the white and the red, which their opponents need. These 1-point cards in level 2 are also kind of unplayable. Unless you have a lot of discounts already, you should generally try to avoid these cards. The green's very interesting to me. Looks like they might be interested in this black card for 3 green, maybe working towards the 7 black. Over to Bad Knot, who is probably quite happy to see there's still white in the market. They take some white, red, and black. By the way, white, red, black is an important color combination. As I said, green, blue is the kind of strongest, fastest, most aggressive strategy in Splendor. The other 3 colors, black, red, white, they kind of go together as well. As another strategy that's kind of a little bit slower. And so you'd frequently see players just taking these 3 colors. Looks like Phosphate's in big trouble. They're stuck on 5 reds here, and there are no red gems in the display to help them get up to their 6 red. Of course, it's most efficient to buy that 6 red card first, to give you that red discount, and then play the 5 red afterwards. Not many options here. And they decide to buy the 5 red card for 2 white. A slightly unfortunate start, but it's the result of great blocking by the other players, taking away those red gems from them. Now for 3, 1, 2, 4, I'm expecting, yes, they'll just buy this level 1 blue card that they've worked towards, spending 4 gems, pretty decent value. Nature, who's currently sitting on 10 gems, so we're expecting a purchase here. But no, it's going to be a reserve. And so they reserve that 7 red, 3 black. They get a gold coin, and they discard a red, which is kind of surprising because they want to work towards this 7 red card. Gold's super important, super valuable in like 3 and 4 player for buying those expensive cards and denying your opponents that ability as well. So expecting another reserve here from Badnot. They've already got the 6 white card, and you know, one of these other white cards probably looks quite tempting, and they settle on the 5 white card. Probably because it's just a bit more realistic to be able to play in a game with heavy blocking with high skill players. Now we're back to Phosphate. They can kind of move into a few different options here. They might be interested in just locking into the card in their hand, the 6 red. They take pair black. Very interesting choice. There's been no interest in black so far. No one has been interested in working towards this 7 black card. And so Phosphate is saying, I'm interested in working on the black on the board. Over to 3124. Who's currently sitting on 6 blues. It's a pretty tricky spot to be in. They only have blue gems and a gold. It's pretty hard for them to work on anything else. What would you do in their position? I might kind of work on this level 1 card. No whites in the market right now, but we're expecting Badnot to probably play out all their whites this round. But they take pair green. Again, interesting, probably not what I would have done. I would have enjoyed the 1-1-1. After all, they are kind of in the green-blue strategy, so taking more greens is kind of fair enough. Nature's turn. They're now sitting on 10 gems. They discarded a gem last turn, a red one. So surely there's a buyer here. And they do settle on that black gem that costs 3 green, making that the second level 1 purchase of the game. And revealing another black card at level 1, which is decent 4 gem cost. Over to Badnot, still no white in the market, expecting a purchase here. They do purchase the 6 white for 3 point card. And just a reminder that the points for each player are found on the right here under each of their names, like 2 star, 0 star is how many points they have. Okay, so it's now Phosphate's turn. They're still holding on to that 6 red card, so quite likely that they would take pair red. It's probably what I would do. Although you can give consideration to reserving something because there is 1 gold now in the market. One critical factor here is if Phosphate does not take the gold and reserve, then they pass to 3124, the next player, who will get that gold token. That would secure their 7 blue 4 point card purchase. They do reserve a bit of a denial move, making sure that 3124 now cannot get the gold they need to buy their card. Now revealing a decent kind of white-blue card. Yeah, there's still plenty of decently strong cards out here. The 7-3s are decently good. The 4-2-1s are generally pretty good. The 5-3s are kind of okay. So you're kind of looking at 5 decent to good cards here in the levels 2 and 3, which leaves 3124 in a tricky spot again. They're currently on 7 gems. So they take white, red, and black, possibly looking at one of these decent cards here, which they actually have a blue gem discount for. Nature's turn now. Let's see if they're trying to work towards their expensive card or just buy more level 1 cards. And they do take a bit of rainbow, white, green, red, getting a higher chip count, which makes things harder for the other players. Now to Badnot's turn. Last turn they spent out their whites to get 3 points. And they probably just want to work on their next card, the 5 white. And so they do take white, green, black. Over to Phosphate, who only has 5 gems in hand. The 2 colors that they want, red and black, are in the market. So they take red, black, and green. A great choice. And we just see the amount of chips in the market dwindling turn by turn here. Only 6 left. But we are seeing some players at or close to 10 gems. Now back to 3-on-2-4. Let's see if they purchase one of these cards. And they do buy the green level 1 card with that nice discount of blue, only paying 3 gems, and further locking into their green-blue vertical strategy. I think 3-1-2-4 is quite cleverly working up towards that 7 green card at the top. Now back to nature. They really do just have a bit of everything, so most likely eyeing one of these level 1 cards. And oh, they finally buy the level 1 card from their hand, the 2 blue and 1 green for a red gem. They just put 2 blues back into the market. There's now a decent shot for 3-1-2-4 to get a blue gem. Let's see if the following 2 players will deny 3-1-2-4. So Badnot, they might just continue getting more gems, and they do, taking a white, blue, red, and taking step 1 of 2 for denying 3-1-2-4's expensive 7 blue. Now Phosphate, interestingly, has 8 gems in hand, so they wouldn't really have a problem taking 3 gems here. Discarding 1 or 2 gems here or there is really not that big a deal as long as you're getting the color that you need for that expensive card, which has a high kind of points per gem ratio. We know Phosphate wants red and black, so wouldn't be surprised to see kind of a red, black, blue here. But, oh, they don't. Ooh. So they bought a level 1 gem with 1 gem discount, paying 3. I mean, on the plus side, it does subsidize their 5 black card and also drive them towards the 7 black 3 white card up here. But at what cost? You just gave 3124 the difficult to acquire 7th blue gem that they desperately have been seeking. And so let's just see. Of course, 3124 immediately grabs a blue gem along with green and red. Since they bought the black card, they actually are looking in a really good spot to work towards their 7 red, 3 black card in hand. They have 4 red and make it 6 red with the 2 gold and 1 black. So they just need basically a red and 2 blacks. Let's see what they do. Also, they buy a cheap level 1 card instead, only paying a single red for it. That's what you call a bargain. The good thing about this is they now have a red, a black, and a white. And as I mentioned, these 3 colors go together, but it means that they're kind of delaying their expensive card even further. It might be quite long until they can buy it. Nature's strategy so far is a bit questionable. They have been playing pretty off meta, prioritizing level 1 cards. And while it is nice that there is a noble for the white, red, black here, and also a red, black noble, generally it is kind of too slow to get these and generally too slow to go for like a cheap level 1 card engine strategy and get the nobles and everything. It's a very slow strategy in 4-player. And probably another big issue is that a few of the good cards in red, black, white have already been reserved or bought by other players. Like the 2 cards in Phosphate's hand, and this nice white card that Badnot already purchased, and the 5 white card in their hand. Now we're back to Badnot's turn, who last turn gemmed up, partly denying 3124's blue gem. And they're probably still looking to buy that 5 white from their hand. But they do decide to grab white, blue, and black, and then send 2 reds back to the market. The choice of colors they took is pretty interesting because it puts them in progress towards this 2 cost green. They're kind of building up their supply of black gems, including the card they're about to buy, giving a black discount, which could propel them towards this expensive 7 black, 3 white. Now it's back to Phosphate, who I think pretty clearly just wants another black gem. They will take green, red, black. The red, of course, very nice for working towards their 6 red. 3124 very happily has 7 blue gems, and so they can buy that expensive card from hand, gaining 4 points and sending 1 gold back to the market. And with that, they take the point lead as well. Over to Nature, who I'm curious to see what they're going to do, because now they have the opportunity to reserve. Although in their position here, nothing looks too appealing. Maybe the best looking card is that 7 black, 3 white, as it fits with their red, black, white strategy. They already have this expensive card that would give a black gem discount, so they could work on that red one first and propel themselves towards this 7 black. They do in fact reserve that one. A very good choice on their part, I think. Oh, and it reveals a pretty spicy card, the 7 blue, 3 green, which fits perfectly into 3124's green-blue strategy. Badnot now sitting on 10 gems total, and last time they had taken a white gem, now able to afford the card in hand. Oh, but they buy something else. They bought this 421 card from level 2 for 2 points and a green gem, managing to get a single white discount on that for some efficiency. And would you call it perfect timing for getting a green discount, because one of the most important gems in the whole deck came out, the 6 green 3-pointer, which 3124 is only a single green gem away from purchasing. And by the way, a few times I've mentioned this thing called green-blue vertical as the strongest strategy. When I say vertical, it pretty much just means you get that color, so you get a bunch of green, you buy a green card, and that green helps propel you for more green cards and more blue cards. The green and the blue colors feed off each other. Like if you see the 7 blue one they bought, it gave them a green, and that green actually discounts this 7 blue 3 green card, which also gives a green, which discounts this 6 green card. And some of the green and blue cards just kind of feed into each other in a vertical ladder-like fashion. But it's now Phosphate's turn, and most likely looking to buy that 5 black card. Oh, but they don't buy it. Interestingly, they'd rather take green, red, black, and discard a white. Perhaps valuing taking the red gems from the market while they're still there. Possibly a bit of denial against Nature, who we know has the 7 red, 3 black card in hand. And Nature is kind of close to getting that card bought. And now 3124 is in an interesting position where they've finished their first big purchase. They've got a 4-point card down. They're looking in a pretty dominant position right now because there are 3 fantastic cards for them in the market. The 6 green, the 7 green, 3 red, and the 7 blue, 3 green. And because there's no gold in the market, it's much less likely that another player will kind of hate reserve that away and steal it from 3124. So they do decide to grab the last green gem in the market, securing their 6 green for this very powerful card. I think the other players really need to watch out for 3124's momentum and strength here, because there's actually another strong card for them on the board. Not as strong as the others, but this 3-pointer 5 green 3/3/3 actually fits pretty well into their game plan. It's now Nature's turn, and unfortunately for them, there's only one out of red and black available. So it looks like progress is stalling towards their expensive cards in hand. So not great options here for them. And they decide to take double blue. Very interesting choice. I immediately look at this 4 blue card that they might be interested in. It's not the worst value since it does at least give you a point, and that black gem is very valuable for nature, contributing to both their expensive cards in hand. That's pretty much the only reason I'd think they want it. Now it's Badnot. I think they're very happy with the white. And they do grab a pair of those to work towards their 5 white card. Now it's Phosphate, who is yet again ready to buy this 5 black card from hand. And there it is, they finally pull the trigger and secure those 2 points. And now owning a white, red, and black card with the same discounts as Nature. At this point, it's pretty funny to note that Phosphate and Nature had the exact same elo at the time this match was played. They're both players from East Asia who specialize in 2-player Splendor. Nature is unfortunately trailing in points. They might need to kind of prioritize points a bit more over, but of course in 2-player Splendor, it's very important to buy several level 1 cards. And so we're back to 3124, who is sitting on 6 green and 2 red. But they're very happy because nobody hate reserved their 6 green card, which is a super crucial part of their strategy right here. And they are able to snap that away, shooting up to 7 points and now 3 green gem discounts. Now it's Nature, who'd grabbed double blue last turn, currently sitting on 9 gems and with a crucial fork in the road here. Do they take another pair blue and try and get that 1-point black card? Or do they kind of brute force their key high point cards, working on the 7 red 3 black? If they grab a red and a black here and pitch a blue, they would only be a single red or a single black away from purchasing it. And with 3 blacks left in the market after their turn, looking pretty likely to accomplish that. So what's it gonna be? Okay, they do indeed take the red, black, and blue, but oh, what is this? They've discarded pair white. And so they're prioritizing those blue gems over the whites. Now it's back to Badnot, who somehow is able to take a pair white again because Nature just dumped 2 of them in the market. And they will happily take that. Truly a wonderful feeling to 2 turns in a row, take a pair of the color that you need and shoot you straight up to the expensive gems. And Phosphate's looking in a bit of a pickle here since there are no red gems in the market. They've got a bit of a spread of colors and still no red cards in the display that they could look at purchasing. If they want points, they could eye this 1.322. They could afford it this turn, so they'll probably just gem up here. And they do grab a white, blue, green. And back to 3124, who still has a clear path ahead to victory, just grabbing green, blue, red, working on these 2 expensive cards in the level 3 market. They do grab blue, green, black. Very happy about that, I'm sure. Back to Nature, who are trying to work on their 7 red, 3 black card. Like I said, they only need a red or a black, and they've got it. It is actually very important to secure those high point cards. Oh! But they don't take black. Oh no. Now this I'm very unsure about. They've spent their 3 blue and their precious gold to get that 1-point black, costing 4 blue. Now I knew they had their eye on it, but this feels like a big mistake to me because had they just taken black gem that turn, they would have secured their 5-point black card, and they're just further delaying the purchase of these key expensive cards. To me, it seems that Nature is really trying to apply a 2-player strategy to a 4-player game of Splendor, focusing on the level 1 cards really, maybe looking at these nobles as well. But we'll see how it pans out. And now Badnot's turn. Badnot sitting on a natural 5 white in hand. But a gold just got put in the market. And as we all know, gold is super important. And so are they interested in reserving anything? They could only reserve one of these white cards, I think, 5 white or 7 white. Alternatively, they can reserve blind from the level 2 or 3 decks. I don't think there's anything specific they're digging for, except perhaps for the 7 white cost 4-point card from level 3. Oh, but they reserved the 7 green 3 red. I mean, it's possible they could work towards it. It also at the same time feels like a bit of a hate reserve against 3124, but it does kind of give Badnot some more options going forwards, which is nice. And it gets replaced with a trash 5333 card. Phosphate yet again in not a great situation. No gold in the market, nothing to reserve, no red that they can take to work towards their excellent card in hand, and sitting on 9 gems, so taking 3 is not super appealing either. And so they probably just need to buy this 1-pointer card from level 2. Oh, but instead they buy a green card with triple discount, paying only blue-black. I have to say that does feel like a bit of a mistake, sacrificing the points for slight efficiency. They had a double discount on the 1-point card here, and they could have purchased it without spending their precious gold. It almost feels like that kind of 2-player Splendor mindset of getting a bunch of level 1 cards, engine building, and I can kind of see that Phosphate and Nature are, even though they're playing a 4-player game, they are somewhat playing like their natural 2-player tendencies here. But now it's back to 3-1-2-4's turn, and exciting development since their last turn, Nature put 3 blue gems into the market, which means they are actually really close to getting this 7 blue 3 green card. They're already currently on 3 blue and 4 green. Oh, but they surprised me yet again. They don't take double blue, they take white, blue, black, going up to 10 gems. I'm really not sure why they care about the white and the black here. I suppose it does set them up to buy this 1-point card. They have triple green discount, which is very nice. Or maybe I'm just biased and I love grabbing double token a bit too much. Back to Nature, and they are tantalizingly close to getting their 7 red 3 black card, just 1 red or gold away, but they cannot find it still. And so they just gem up, white, blue, green, but it doesn't feel like they're making progress towards any meaningful goals. Back to Badnot, who last turn reserved the 7 green card, and surely it's time to pull the trigger on the white card. And they do purchase it from their hand, getting 2 points, spending just 4 white for that with the discount, going up to 7 points, now tying 3-1-2-4 in first place. With Phosphate still being quite far from buying their strong red card from in hand, it does look like there's a clear pair of leaders, 3-1-2-4 and Badnot, and perhaps Phosphate and Nature might have to work together to slow those two down by kind of chip defending, taking the colors they need, or even reserving away the cards that they need. Like how Badnot reserved away the important 7 green 3 red card from 3-1-2-4. But yes, Phosphate, not too sure whether they might still be interested in that 1-point card. And no, they just gem up. Maybe they are working towards it. They get the 2nd black along with a blue and a green. And so they're really stacking up a lot of green, now up to 5 total. Wondering if they are eyeing this 5 green 3-3-3 card. They would need enough discounts because these cards are just horrendous really. You need 14 gems total. Simply can't afford it unless you have 4 discount, and they won't be able to afford it without buying another card first. But yeah, Phosphate and Nature are really just stuck, especially in terms of the red. Phosphate has gone many turns without being able to afford their 6 red card, as well as Nature being many turns with just not enough red to buy their 7 red 3 black card. These two players have just been kind of throttling each other in terms of holding the red gems that each other needs. Now 3-1-2-4, sitting on 9 gems, probably interested in just bluing up. Oh, but they actually buy a blue card from row 1 that I missed, a level 1 blue card. It's normally a pretty crap card at the start of the game, but the green's completely free for them, so just spending red, red, white. It's pretty much the same move they made near the start of the game, where they did the triple take instead of the pair blue. This is really standing out to me as a kind of strategy that I mostly overlook when I play 3-4 player Splendor. I guess I underestimate the level 1 cards in this mid-game period. Seems like they might be more useful than I think. But we're back to Nature, who is probably thrilled to see the final gem that they need to complete their 7 black 3 red, thanks to 3-1-2-4 paying out their reds to the market. But no, yet again, they completely ignore, basically sacrificing any means they have and really just saying, I do not care about the cards in my hand. I just care about level 1 cards, nobles, engine. They just want engine. But it feels like too little too late. And in my experience, if you're going to try and play this way in 4-player, you really have to all in on it from the very start of the game and really try and limit the amount of reserves you're doing. Now it's Badnot's turn, who bought this 5 white card last turn. They need a new goal to work towards. They have that expensive green card, but no greens in the market because Phosphate has them all. And they'll grab the white, blue, red, really assembling a bit of everything in their gem collection. We'll wait to see what they're working towards, but I can't see a clear direction right now. Now Phosphate has 10 gems in hand, so definitely looking at a purchase here. And I've been speculating for a while, it's probably this 1-pointer here. But no, it is not that. And they buy a level 1 card with a triple discount, paying only a single blue. And so at this point, Phosphate and Nature are basically fully locked in into a slow engine, a level 1 focused strategy. And they're both probably interested in these 2 3-point cards in terms of later game win conditions. 3-1-2-4 is shooting ahead and there's still blue in the market. They'll happily grab blue along with white and red. And Nature buys another level 1 card, paying only a single white for this one. Great discount. Badnot now, please show us what direction you're taking here. They take pair white. Okay, hopefully eyeing the 7 white 3 blue card, which would shoot them right up to 12 points and in pretty close contention for the 15-point win. Phosphate now is going to buy another level 1 Black card, paying a single green for it. It's discounts galore for Phosphate and Nature at this point. But 3124 is thanking their lucky stars that nobody has blocked and defended them. They have left the blue in the market for a full cycle of turns. That gives them the 7th blue they need, and then they can purchase this juicy card on their next turn. Oh, but they reserve it instead, receiving no gold for it. That is an interesting move. They're probably still scarred from last time when Badnot reserved away the 7 green, 3 red that they were not too far from. Badnot actually reserved it without taking any gold themselves. So this seems like a really heads up play, assuming of course that they're able to get just 1 more blue gem to make that purchase. So we'll see if 3124's opponents can up their defense a bit here. Now it's Nature, who gems up, taking green, red, black, and they've got a real spread of chips at their disposal here. And once again, just 1 red gem short away from their 7 red card. Badnor, are they interested in more whites? They buy a white card from level 1. So yes, they are interested in the whites. They really seem to be shooting towards this 7 white, 3 blue card. But it costed Badnot a blue, a green, and a red. But they need that blue to buy the card. This feels like a critical error because they could have taken white and blue, making a critical denial against 3124, while at the same time making excellent progress towards the 7 white, 3 blue card. They just paid a blue back into the market. So this has basically 100% guaranteed that 3124 can take blue and then on their next turn buy their awesome card. And for once in their life, Phosphate has red in the market they can take, or there's a 4 white card they could purchase here. So Phosphate gems up white, blue, red, giving away a green. 3124, unsurprisingly, grabs that last blue gem they need, taking as well white and red and dumping blacks. Looking at their resources, you can see a kind of singular focus here. They really want to just buy this card in their hand and then using the white and the red, the green and blue discounts, shoot straight for this 3-point card as well. And they're just setting themselves up really nicely for it. Over to Nature, sitting on 9 gems in hand. And they will buy that 1-point white card that I've been talking about for a while, paying only double green for it. Now it's Badnot, who buys a red card from level 1, a 1-point card. They only need to spend pair white, which is nice, but they've basically sacrificed their chance at getting the high point efficiency 7 white, 3 blue card. It was a bit of a tough turn for them. There weren't any whites or blues in the market. They only could have taken green and black, which they really have no use for. So that's kind of a fair decision. I mean, the display has been pretty rough for a few players throughout the game, and I'm wondering if there was enough incentive for them to do a blind reserve of the level 3 deck without taking a gold, just to really give themselves a chance of getting a really important card. Blind reserving from the level 2 and 3 decks without getting a gold is something we saw in last year's 2024 Splendor final at WSBG, the World Series of Board Gaming in Las Vegas. One of the players at the grand final table actually did that twice. So I do think there's a time and place for it. But it's back to Phosphate, and I'm really not sure what they've got their eye on. But it is going to be another level 1 card that costs only a single black, this heavily discounted 5 gem cost card. And by all measures, they really do appear to be racing Nature. Phosphate and Nature are locked in a race towards this 3-point white, red, black noble. And somehow they still have the exact same color cards at their disposal. 3124 is now very happy to purchase another key 5-point card from their hand, paying 5 blue, gaining a whole whopping 5 points, shooting up to 12 points now, and taking the clear lead to Badnot's second place 8 points, Phosphate 4 points, Nature 2 points. And these other players are really going to have to try and slow 3124 down here, because otherwise they are on a really quick path to victory. 3124 is really close to buying this 3-point card. They have the 5 green. All they need is a blue, a white, and a red. And if the other players can keep red and gold from entering the market, they may be able to slow down 3124 a whole bunch here. So now it's back to Nature. And they're going to buy a red card. Is this one free? Yes, it is. They've reached the point of buying 3 cards from level 1. And so they're now just 2 cards from the white, red, black noble. And with that red card purchase, they now have the resources they need to finally afford their 7 red, 3 black card, if they're still interested in that. It's now Badnot's turn. And they'll gem up, actually taking white, blue, black, and giving the opportunity for Phosphate to take the last white. But Phosphate happily can finally afford the 6 red card that they've been sitting on since the very, very first turn of the game. And so with great joy, they will finally buy that one. But that is probably met with immediate dismay from Nature and Badnot, who look at the market and say, oh crap, 3124 is really, really close now. And so they very cleverly reserve it away, gaining a gold. And now that gold gives them the flexibility. they only need 2 out of 3 of white, blue, or red. So now we're in a pretty funny and, to me, quite interesting position where for this remaining turn cycle, there's basically only one chain of events that will stop 3124 from buying their 3-point card. And that is if the 3 players can work together to deplete both the white gem and the 3 red gems. Otherwise, 3124 can simply take blue, red, and anything, and that gives them the gems they need to purchase it on their subsequent turn. So can the 3 players work together to slow down 3124 and give themselves even a chance of coming first here? Nature's up first. They take the first step. You know, they've like put their hand in the middle and they're like, all right guys, I'm first, you guys follow suit, and we got this. They're not here sitting on 8 gems, taking red and 2 others looks kind of doable for them. And they reserve something and they say, sorry guys, it's over. Every man for themselves. And I think panic is ensuing and 3124 is probably celebrating. Interestingly, Badnot reserved this 7 black card without receiving a gold for it. They are only 1 black away from it. They won't be able to outpace 3124's victory here. Now Phosphate, they'll simply grab a pair of blue, and 3124 looks at the market and smiles because they can take the red and the blue, and they are simply 1 turn away from victory now. And let's see what these players can accomplish on their final turns. Nature can finally buy that 5-point card from hand. They've been sitting on it the whole game. They had a couple opportunities to really latch onto it and work towards it, bringing them up to 7 points, now tied. Badnot probably working on that 4-point card that they just reserved. And they do reserve another card away. It's a 6 green card. They almost certainly have 0 interest in purchasing it. Just in case you've been wondering the whole game, what happens down the bottom if someone reserves 3 cards into their hand? Well, if the cards line up right, it looks a bit like that. And this will be Phosphate's final turn for the game. They managed to buy a 1-pointer, bringing them up to 8 points. And 3124 is going to close this game out with pretty much exactsies for their gem in hand. They buy the black card, they pay out all their gems except for a green, and this is the last turn. Just Nature and Badnot left, and that'll be the end. And Nature buys the red card that just flipped out, 5 black, 3 white, because they were unfortunately unable to secure any of the white cards from the board to get that noble that they've been working on. And Badnot is going to close it out by buying the white card from their hand, paying the 7 blacks. And 3124 wins! Congratulations! I have to commend 3124 on playing very well. They kind of followed the typical meta of 4-player. On several of their turns, they made some great decisions that I wouldn't have done. I'm not the best Splendor player, but I can appreciate the wisdom behind some of the decisions. I think my favorite move that they made was when they reserved the 7 blue, 3 green, which was really a super critical piece of getting them to 15 points. If they had just taken the blue gem, which I probably would have done, I think very high chance someone, wink wink, Badnot, hate reserves it away from them and just sets them back a whole bunch. Now just having a really quick look at some of the stats from this game. This is one of the most important stats by far, 22 turn game. That's pretty fast. You can see the 4 players thinking time. Only Nature was getting a bit closer to running out of their 15-minute limit. So 3124 had 3 level 1s, 1 level 2, and 3 level 3s. If you are interested in improving at Splendor and taking your game to the next level, I really recommend watching this series of YouTube videos made by this channel called WeickertD, no idea how to pronounce it. They only ever made 5 videos on their channel. They're all Splendor strategy and they are all absolute gold. Anyway, thank you so much for watching to the end. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you play on Board Game Arena, I hope to face you in a 4-player game of Splendor. I'm actually practicing for a Splendor tournament in a few months, which is going to be held here in Sydney, Australia, where I live. Until next time, may you get the most victory points.